And good morning, and welcome to the Isn't It Time Facebook Live show this morning. I am your host, Sally Thibault. As you jump on this morning, just let me know if you can hear me. I'm using a different microphone this morning, so just want to check that you can hear me. And today we're talking about finding the courage to ask for what you want. Number one, sometimes do you really know what we really want? And number two, good morning. Oh, everybody's jumping on. Morning. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Elle. Lovely to have you here. And happy Mother's Day to all my wonderful mum friends. Happy Mother's Day for tomorrow, wherever you are doing. Let me know what you're doing tomorrow. Oh, it's cold and windy. Is it in Brisbane? It was a bit cold here this morning, Donna. When I walked this morning. Good morning, Deborah. Thank you. Loud and clear. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Look at you all up early this morning. So let me know what you're doing for Mother's Day. If you've got any surprises, or if you're like me, just hoping your children remember. Just, because they're all overseas. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you, Donna. And happy Mother's Day to you. They're all overseas. And, of course, in Canada, they're a day behind. And who knows? Who knows if they will even remember. But thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you. Good morning, Savannah. Yes, happy Mother's Day to everybody. It's a bit of a non-event in our place. Donna, what are you doing? My daughter is taking me out for brunch, spending the rest of the day together. Not sure. Oh, that's lovely. Isn't that lovely? How nice. Beautiful. Elle, seafood and boating tomorrow. Oh, nice. That's lovely, Elle. I hope I think the weather's going to stay lovely. Beautiful. Yes, my mother is no longer with us, so and then my kids live overseas. So I think we'll be heading to the markets in the morning, and perhaps a brunch. We'll see how we go tomorrow. Anyway, isn't it lovely? I get a bit thingy about it being very commercialised, but I just love it when the kids remember you every other day, really. So wherever you are, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day, and how you choose to share it. I actually did a couple of radio interviews this week on taking the stress out of Mother's Day, and one of the things I said was, it's not wonderful for everybody, and just to take it as it comes. Lunch with your daughter, Debbie. Lovely. That's so nice. Just those really simple things. I used to say to the children many years ago, I prefer your presence, not your present, on Mother's Day. Although I have some great memories, So, I remember my daughter gave me a Chucks lady one day. She was prep, and she was so excited by it because she made a little Chucks lady with icy pole, like sticks for arms. I've still got it. I've actually kept it. Donna, first Mother's Day we've spent together in many years, as she's been living in different parts of Australia. It'll be very special. Oh, Donna, that's really lovely. I really hope you have a lovely time together. It's really important, isn't it, that we spend those times. In my Facebook memories, it's just popped up today, and some of the lovely things the kids have done to the past. Very special, very special. All righty, let's get into today's show. We're talking about finding the courage for what you want. Yeah, it was really cute. Little Chucks ladies are still. Jerry said, "Why are you hanging on to that?" I said, "No, I don't know." Just one of those things. Find the courage for what you want. Whenever I am working with a client, and I come to the question, what do you really want? Now, Dr. Wayne Dyer used to call it, what do you really, really, really want? In other words, at a soul level, at a cellular level, what do you really want? We can talk about things like, I'd like enough money to pay the electricity bill, or I'd love to be doing what I'd love to do. But on a cellular soul level, what is it you really want in your life? And to be able to ask that question without ego or limitation, because many of us on this call grew up in a very different time about asking for what you wanted. And in particular, I kind of grew up in the era that you didn't ask for too much. There wasn't a lot of money anyway. You didn't ask for too much. It was almost, if I asked for what I wanted, what about the other kids in the family? So we can come into this with a really kind of cellular belief about asking for what we want has a connotation of something else. And so sometimes what we do is we settle for less. we're almost afraid to ask for what we want. And I'll share a little bit about what that's all about. Brene Brown talks about that, being careful, just too fearful to ask for what you want, foreboding joy, she calls it. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But, the thing about what we wanted at 25 changes when we're 30, 40, 50 and beyond. I think, and I really like to do an audit every 90 days or so to kind of go, what do I really want? What do I really want in my business? What do I really want in my life? What do I want from my physical body? What do I want from my relationships? What is it I really want? And just measure, there's a level of resistance about whether you can actually have it. And if you grew up in a big family, oh, nice. Okay, that definitely resonates, Donna. Yeah. If you grew up in a family, like I grew up in a big Catholic family, and so it was like if I asked for what I wanted, there was this belief that existed in me that if I asked for what I wanted, somebody else had to miss out. It's like if I get what I want, then somebody doesn't get what they want. There was some part of me that kind of resonated was I couldn't have everything I wanted. First, it was greedy to ask. Secondly, there was this feeling that it was like a sin to have everything. It was like really bad people had everything. They were greedy people. They took from others. So there was this element, this feeling that sort of sat in deep at a cellular level, even though I could talk myself out of it at a cellular level. And so I found myself very often settling for second best. It was like close enough was good enough. And, sometimes when you open your mouth and your mother comes out, for many of us on the call, our parents were post-war babies, and some of us maybe be post-war babies, but there was this thing about, close enough is good enough. You have enough. What right do you have to have everything when other people are going without? Spot on, Savannah. Yeah. It's like there's this part of us that has this, it's not nice to have everything. It's not nice to have what you want. And so we step back a little bit about, as I said before, if I have what I want, does that mean other people miss out? There's another part of that, and getting back to what Brene Brown talks about, and if you've listened to her book or read her book, Daring Greatly, she talks about foreboding joy. And she shares this story, and I'm sure, let me know if you've experienced this, where you have this moment, with your children maybe when they were little, and that space where they just fell asleep at night, and you just look at them and they were so angelic and so beautiful, and you had this amazing, abundance of love, just like this extraordinary feeling of love. Just like, oh my God, you were just gorgeous. And then instantaneously, what if something happens? This instantaneous switch to, oh my God, what if something terrible happens? I'd give everything so that this child could have whatever they wanted. It's like this, she calls it foreboding joy. It's like you don't let yourself be in that joyful moment without thinking something bad's going to happen if you get everything you want. And that's right. That's exactly right, Donna. We have settled too often for less in our lives. We've settled for less. Now, this particularly comes up for women in careers. When I was doing some research into women in leadership and looking at why women are still paid less than men, a lot of studies came up about it wasn't necessarily anything to do with the culture, a little bit, but not really. It was a lot to do with women not feeling comfortable about asking for what they want because it felt aggressive. And so, when a lot of women sort of get to the point where they're going to ask for a pay rise, there's a cellular, oh, I can't, what are they going to think of me? So it comes not from the head, but it comes from the body, from the heart. So when you're doing an audit, and perhaps this is a lovely time to do it, on Mother's Day, what is it I really want in my life? What do I really want my physical body, my emotional body, my spiritual body, what I want in my career, in my business, what I want in my relationships, and do I give myself permission to have them? I'll say that again. Ask for everything that you want, write it down, and then ask yourself, do I give myself permission to have them? Because that's the key. You know, and all the work by Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Wayne Dyer, you know it, all these guys at kind of the, you know, professional self-development kind of people that are out there, and especially people like Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton who are working on that cellular level, say the minute you make a decision in your mind about what you want, all manner of things begin to swing into place. It's called sometimes frequency of illusion, where you decide what you want and all of a sudden opportunities present themselves to you. The thing that blocks it is what we call confirmation bias, where what we believe about ourselves limits what we believe we can have, and so we step back. And this came up big time for me this week. If you don't know, I'm writing another book. And I've been putting out all week, on the last couple of weeks, about attracting a really good publisher this time. And last week was an incredible series of synchronistic events that brought me to this particular publisher. We had a meeting yesterday. So many, there were like 8 or 10 things that happened. The girl that now works for them, I happen to have known from years before, and she's a great gal. And I thought, well, if she's working for these people, then they'd have to be a good organization to work for. They're talking about expanding into Canada, and I'd spoken to them about, you know, my relationship with Canada. I was there at this event, and a woman came up to me and said, "You might not remember me, but I met you 2 years ago, and I was telling you my story, and you suggested that I write a book. I just wanted to let you know I'm writing." And it was like all these things, bang, 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 happened. But there was a part of me when I was driving home from this meeting yesterday going, "Oh, do I really want to do this again?" Oh, you know, like immediately, I could feel the doubt coming up. I'd attracted the opportunities, but the doubt started to arise. So it was just a really, really interesting concept for me to step back. I asked for what I wanted. The universe had presented it to me. Like I just happened to walk past one day, see this kind of little one-liner about this particular seminar that this publishing company was running. And I'm like, oh, I'll do that. That's tomorrow. And it just all fell into place. So yeah. So let's look at what's everybody saying. Thank you, Deborah. Yep. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Deborah. Okay, let's look what Kim, you're written here. In the past, I put a new job description together, and this week had to present. Why? This time I spoke my truth. Guess what? It's happening. Wow. That's amazing. It just happens just like that. Thank you, Savannah. Look forward to reading it. Yes, we're hoping as it all works out, we'll be ready for September. I'm still going, why am I doing this again? No. Really exciting process. All right, let's go on to the next part. I want to talk a little bit about this. What happens to our spirit and our body when we don't ask for what we want and we settle for less? When we do this, when we don't ask for what we want, when we let our ego, our limitation, doubt, fear, vulnerability step into place, we create a pattern at the subconscious level that we're not worthy. You know, our beliefs are like muscles, right? You've got to keep using it. You know, if I want to get a strong bicep, I have to do bicep curls every, second day to build strong muscles. Our beliefs are the same. So if you continually don't ask for what you want and you settle for second best, it just becomes a belief. There's a doubt that rises. You just don't think about asking for what you want. You don't think in terms of better than I think possible. You just You just don't, because it just sits there. And it shows up as self-sabotage and procrastination, resignation. It'll show up as resignation. Oh, well, happened again. I kind of didn't really want it. It's like and for many of us, we probably grew up, let me know if you did, in families where our parents kind of didn't want us to get hurt. And I know in my family that was with my family, they were like, just be happy with what you've got. The thing was, they didn't want me to get hurt or disappointed. So if you didn't get hurt or disappointed, if you didn't put yourself out there, then you didn't get hurt or disappointed. So just settle for second, just be happy with what you've got. That was what they had at the time, because I know for both my parents, they'd lost a lot during the war. Both had come from quite wealthy families and lost everything. So for them, that was a real, they had to learn to get by with less. And so for them, it was about, making sure that you weren't hurt, you didn't go without. And so just check around all of that. How often are you not allowing yourself to dream big? But part of that is because you believe at a deep cellular level that you can't have it, or if you have it, you might be hurt. As I mentioned before, check your epigenetics, check the genetic. It's always a great exercise, I believe, to kind of really understand our grandparents, our parents and our grandparents, understand what they came from, because that's how we learn and how we make assumptions about what we want, what we can have. When you see the patterns that are carried down the generation, because there's a part of our grandmothers in us. There's a part of her genealogy in us. And so we can often carry their beliefs, genetic imprint in us. So it's about being able to feel comfortable to ask without carrying that. Let's have a look at Donna. It's weird that I was allowed to do whatever I wanted when it came to my swimming, which was very good at, and I had lots of support. And yet when it came to other things in life, it was the same. Interesting. Don't give too much and don't get hurt. Yeah. Can you see, Donna, how that really impacts on us? It really shows up in our lives. And I know myself, whenever I dream a bigger dream. Right now I'm dreaming working on a much bigger dream in my own daily work. And I every now and then I feel myself going, oh, well, that's okay. Oh, well, that's okay. It was like, if I don't get it, it's okay. Interesting, isn't it? Let's just see what everyone's saying. Let's see what this is interesting. Let's see what Elle said. Sorry, my computer's not playing. It's not being Elle. I've just started a new job and I've been asked to put forward what I want. I felt really uncomfortable, as it's usually the verse. I'm finding it hard to put my needs forward. I need to just, yes, Elle. Oh my goodness. Yeah. How cool is that? But isn't that good that you've got that realization? Absolutely. I felt really uncomfortable. This is usually the reverse. See, that's it right in there. It's what you're comfortable with. It's what you're being used to. And we just fall into that. That's what our brain wants. Sue-Ann, oh my God, I had this breakthrough about my beliefs. Spot on, Sally. Fear and punishment linked to me wanting. Interesting. Morning, Sandy. Actually, that has made me feel really emotional. Isn't that interesting, Donna? When we get to the body, it's really about what we've been allowed to have. We raise kids so differently now. We raise them to believe that they can be anything they want. We raise them to think, sky's the limit. What do you want? Go for everyone. But we didn't have that. Many of us, not all of us, many of us. I grew up in a very, structured schooling environment. You know, it was like, I remember going to my 30th school reunion and chat to all the girls. Actually, I had to walk around the block 3 times before I had enough courage to walk into it. But when I went to my 30th school reunion, there were girls I met who were lawyers and a couple of doctors, and I'm looking at them and going, how did you know you could be that? How did you know you could be that? I didn't know you could even be that. When in my mind, it was like get a safe job. One of the reasons was I wasn't very smart in school, apparently, according to everybody. And so there was not much hope in my education, go to university or anything like that. But I just didn't believe it was possible. I didn't believe it was possible. It was really interesting. My view of my education by the nuns was, Sally, you need to get a safe job, be a secretary or something. Don't step outside what you think don't set yourself up for failure, I think, really. Okay, let's what everybody's saying. Sandy, trying to explain to family, you just have to ask for what you want and can't be that simple. Yeah, I know, right? But it's there. It's always there. You know, I went looking, what's Sue-Ann? I've always struggled having clarity around my vision as I've never felt it was right. Yes. That was a real zing for me too, Sue-Ann, when you just wrote that. It felt like I was right to want, deeply ingrained from my childhood. Yes. And hands up all the Catholics on the call, it wasn't right. You couldn't have everything you want. Those people brought down the temples. Those people sold the silver and the gold, and they were bad people. All that stuff, not right or wrong. It's just what our interpretation of it, and then we carry that interpretation into our lives, and that's what happens. Great call today, guys. This is really resonating, isn't it? Wow, because I'm getting some zings too. That was good, Sue-Ann. Absolutely. So we can't embrace who we really are. Yes, Catholic. What did they do to us? Just open the Bible and start tapping on some of those things. Oh, Deborah, those who ask for what they want get nothing. Oh, my God. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? Wow. Yep. All that stuff that was told to us when we were kids, what we grew up in. I feel like my direction is changing. Where are we, Sandy? Oh, I just lost you. Of who am I to help? Yep, here we go. Good one, Sandy. What's this one? Donna, women even more, to which is why women still struggle with so much with leadership. Yes. And that's what came up in that research I was doing, Donna, was that most women hold themselves back. They don't want to ask for what they want. It appears too aggressive. And that's why they struggle with asking for pay rises. In fact, I had a meeting, a phone call with a woman who's a manager, she heads up a major news organization, and she was telling me about how often she had to go in meetings with some of her top journalists for them to ask for pay rises because of the fear of asking for it. They'd never felt comfortable. This is massive stuff. Thank you, Sue-Ann. Yeah, it is. It really was big for me this week. It really was big for me. Yes, absolutely. All right, just quickly before I go on, because I want to get on to why this impacts on our bodies. I'm on it around this and the book about intuitive eating and reclaiming our bodies and being who we are. Our body never lies, ever. Every belief you have about yourself is trapped in your body. And yesterday I was in a meeting with somebody, and we were talking about the concept of intuitive eating. And I was saying that, it's when you ask your body the question, what do I really want? What does my body really want? And he responded back, in my mind right now is hot dog. And I said, there's the problem right there, because we're asking with our minds, not asking with our body. Our intuition, our hearts and our intuition know, but our mind and our brain and our beliefs get in the way. And that's where we get really hung up on, I can't have what I want. We're not asking the right part of us what it is. And for those of you who have done any work with Dr. Joe Dispenza, that's what he gets you to do, to feel emotionally in your body what the emotion is, because that's where the choice comes from. In our minds, our beliefs sit in our minds about what we think we can and cannot have. And right in the very essence of that is the food we allow ourselves to eat. When we follow everybody else's doctrine, good morning, Desiree, we follow everybody's, we're taking away from our own innate wisdom, our intuition that drives us forward. So after this meeting yesterday, I went straight into my head. I started straight into my head about what I think I can have, get out of that. And I had to really embrace the emotion. I drew this in. I drew this in. I asked the question, I allowed the emotion, I drew this in, and I had to keep telling myself this. All right, let's look at what people's, Donna, what's this? That's why so many people see food and they want it, because in the mind, seeing the food rather than checking in their bodies. Absolutely, absolutely, Donna. And because we end up denying ourselves because we think of good food and bad food, we don't allow ourselves to have it, right? We don't allow ourselves. And then what happens is, 2 days down the road, 3 days down the road, we break out. I can't deal with this deprivation any longer. The body, when you heal the emotional stuff going on that goes on in your brain, right, all the memories, the patterns, the beliefs, the body will always tell you what it wants, always. But we get so caught up in good and bad. We get so caught up in good and bad. That's the head. That's not our body. And the whole idea with intuitive eating and all of this stuff that we're talking about is checking in with your body. What does your body really want? So just quickly, 2 weeks' time, we're doing the Reclaim You event on the Gold Coast. I'm really excited about this. It's 2 days. This is what we're going to delve into. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? So if you are interested, just pop on a link, click on the link, and you can have a chat with me to see if it's a right fit for you. I'm going to just pop the link down below. And because that's what this is all about. This is about, if we can't figure this out in our body, how can we possibly figure this out in our minds? How can we possibly figure this out? It just exists. And you know what? We're all such incredibly intuitive, wise women. Every woman on this call right now, we're wise, we're knowledgeable, we've lived, we've experienced life. Many of us on the call have birthed babies and fed them. We know, we get it. We know this stuff. But when we hand our power over to others all the time, we lose that innate ability to trust. And asking for what we want is where it starts. Being comfortable in asking for what we want. Intuitive eating, we ask, I now allow myself to eat anything I want. What is it my body truly wants and needs right now? What is it? And we ask that question, and then, of course, go through all the things that are stopping that connection. And when I'm encouraging people all the time, they get into your body. It's a body. The body has this wisdom. It's got a language all by itself, and that's the key. But when you uncover all this, when you are open to receiving what you want and letting go of those beliefs, it just changes everything. It just changes everything. So if you can't make the event, by the way, just look, hop on a call. Let's have a chat as a strategy session to see maybe, a VIP day is something that you need right now to clear some of this, to just really ready to get over it, or you'd really like to work with me to sort of clear it. So the question I want to ask and I want to leave with you today is, number one, what do you really, really want? And number 2, is there hesitancy in believing you can have it? Is there hesitancy to believe that you're worthy of having it? Because right in there, you will unlock a lifetime of understanding. As everybody's been saying on this call today, you'll unlock a lifetime of understanding where you are right now. Our reality is totally reflected in our ability to ask for what we want and believe that we can have it. It's just there. It's right there. So let's do a quick tapping because we're over 8 o'clock. And I just want you to ask yourself the question, what is my level of belief that I'm worthy to ask for what I want? And I want you to just measure if there's a fear. And on a scale of 1 to 10, do you have a fear about asking for what you want? And where does that exist? Okay, let's quickly go. Good morning. Yes, thank goodness I'm ready for morning. Good morning, Lisa. All right, quickly, let's do this tapping. All right, even though I have this fear about asking for what I want, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I know this fear has held me back in the past, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though there's been so many times in my past where I've just been too scared to ask for what I want, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Okay, here we go. This fear, what will happen if I ask for what I want? This deep fear, I'm not allowed to ask for what I want. This deep fear, I've never felt comfortable asking for what I want. This fear of asking for what I want. This fear about asking for what I want. Let's do one more round. All this fear trapped in my body. This fear of asking for what I want. What will people think of me? I'm not allowed to ask for what I want. What will people think of me? Will they think I'm greedy or aggressive? This fear of asking for what I want. Okay, take a deep breath and let it go. Okay. There should be some memories coming up for you. Times in the past when you've been scared to ask what you want, told you couldn't have what you wanted, what made you think you were so special. You need to all tap on all those, remember, get right down to it. All right. I'm assuming, let's pretend that level has dropped to about a 0 or a 2. Let's do a reframe. Whew. Big show today. Here we go. Even though I've been scared to ask for what I wanted, I choose to believe I'm safe to ask for what I want. Even though in the past I've been too fearful to ask for what I want, I choose to be courageous and trust in my intuition. Even though in the past, I know I've held myself back from asking for what I wanted, I choose now to be true to myself. Tapping, I choose to ask for what I want. I choose to attract the opportunities into my life, so I get what I want. I choose to believe I'm worthy of having everything I want. I trust in the universe. I forgive everybody who stopped me from getting what I wanted. I forgive myself for holding myself back. I choose to believe I'm worthy to have what I want. Okay, just take a deep breath and let it go. And you can add the power pose if you want. You know, you're standing hands on hips, looking in the mirror. You can add that little affirmation every morning. I choose to believe I'm worthy. I am worthy to have what I want. Measure it this week. See how you go. As it pops up, there'll be memories pop up for you. Allow those to happen. Okay, allow those to come up and tap on them. Don't forget. And practice this week. Practice this week, putting yourself out there. You know, it's just fear. It's all it is. It's just fear. And when we can shift that fear, woohoo, who knows? The life, world, the ocean, what am I trying to say? The universe is the limit. It's the limit. All right, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for a great show today. Remember, check in for a strategy session if you want to have a chat with me, or the Reclaim You event coming up at the end of May. And everybody, my wish for you to have the most beautiful, wonderful Mother's Day wherever you are. And thank you, Donna. I am worthy. I've been working really strongly on this for the past few weeks. Perfect timing. You are very welcome. Thank you, everybody, for being on a fabulous call today. Thank you for your energy and your input. And happy Mother's Day. We shall see you next week. Okay, bye for now.